Hi, in this video I will show you how to route an query parameter in Angular version 16 plus to backend. So what we see on the left side is my small Angular application where there is a list as a component. This is the list component, what we see on the right side. On the right side is the Angular stuff. And whenever I click on a keyword like this one, for example here pictures, then the parameter question mark k equals for keyword equals builder goes to the URL. Now, how does the URL come to, let's say, to the backend? Therefore, we work with Angular version 16 with the input. And in input, we find here in our app config.ts, we have to tell our provider router the with component input binding. We add it here in the import, and then we also add it here in the providers. So we say routes, comma, with component input binding. So this is new in Angular version 16 plus, and it eases much more the handling. So we do this, we save it, and it will be reloaded. And then in the component itself, we have to say there's still the activate route, and we also add there something new, which is also coming from Angular version 16 plus, the import input from Angular core. And we see then here we write it this way, where the export of your component is, we say add input, and then the matching parameter. So if we say here k equals a word, then what we have to do is we say input and then the parameter k. So URL, let's say URL k matches to the new that's a decorator to the new variable search keywords equals it's empty at the beginning. And then what we see here is whenever we need it, for example when there's a initialization or when we open the site, then all what we have to do is we are saying this search keyword, this is the matching which takes the word from there. So we do it now. I've saved it, and when we start or refresh it, we can't see it at the moment. We will do it like this, F12, and we go to the debugger. Now on the debugger we see this is our app, there's the list articles, and here's my component TypeScript, and let's improve it a little bit like this, component.ts. And when I make a breakpoint on there, it's the same code what we have seen before. There's the input, and there's the input k search keywords. And now when I'm refreshing that site, it will go there, and then we see this, and the search keyword is empty or nothing. And inside the picture, there is inside the search keyword, there's the parameter filled with in this case pictures. Now when going on with F11, it goes to a service. So this is my service app. So I embedded it. It's like a central service which asks the machine, which sends a fetch with a HTTP client. So it simply does a fetch, it calls a fetch to the API. So we say here the service asks for, has the method get list, and there are search words, search keywords, search folders. And now I'm creating a URL. I say, okay, URL, if somebody has input something, then we have the HTTPS localhost and something else, API articles, get list, question mark, k equals a word. And I also encoded it in URL, URI, so that some special characters are encoded. And then we say this HTTP, so this is the caller get, and then give me something back from of type article, and it will be an observable. So when I do this one, it will run. It runs several times, and it comes back here on my machine, and then it will be done. But what I want to show you now is my backend, because this is my backend is in here. That's an ASPM controller, API controller. There's the articles controller, and this one, whenever somebody calls a get list, API get list, then I said here string s equals, and then an empty string, which means it's optional that you say if you have a parameter k, optional k, then it will come in there. So what we do now is we refresh that one, and now you see it comes in at that point again, and we will see now under k that the parameter k is there, and that's all the magic behind. So it will do a query, it will do some work, and then it responds in that stuff. I didn't filter it from there now, but what I wanted to show in this case is that you have to do what you have to do. You set the input decorator and a word variable on there. You may and the input is there now from input Angular core. Then we root this out and say, okay, when we have something, we do a merge pipe and switch map, and then blah blah blah. We go to the service, we send it, and we hand over the parameters, and the parameters will come in on our backend. That's the entire magic.